What happens when two powerful women in the world of entertainment collide over something deeply personal? What unfolded between Trisha Yearwood and Kelly Clarkson that day was unlike anything viewers had ever seen on daytime television. The tension in the studio was so thick you could almost feel it through the screen. And by the time it was over, one of country music's most beloved stars had walked off stage in front of millions of people watching live. Before we dive into everything that went down, make sure to hit that subscribe button and leave your thoughts below, because this story is going to leave you absolutely speechless. The episode of The Kelly Clarkson Show was meant to be simple, just another friendly celebrity interview. Trisha was there to promote her new cookbook, share some warm stories about her life with Garth Brooks, and maybe even sing a tune or two for the audience. Kelly had prepared everything with her usual charm and professionalism. Her questions were designed to bring out Trisha's humor and kindness, to make her feel comfortable, and to give fans a glimpse of her genuine personality. The audience was buzzing with excitement, phones ready, expecting another cheerful and heartwarming segment. But from the moment Trisha stepped on stage, something seemed off. Her bright smile didn't reach her eyes. Her posture looked rigid, and there was a subtle heaviness in her expression that even Kelly seemed to notice right away. Still, the interview began smoothly enough, with Kelly complimenting Trisha's recipes and chatting about how she managed to combine rich Southern flavors with healthy twists. "You know, Kelly, cooking has always been my kind of therapy," Trisha replied, her voice calm but slightly tense. "When life gets complicated, when people start making assumptions about your personal world, the kitchen is where I find my peace." Kelly tilted her head, a little caught off guard by the sudden emotional turn. "That's really beautiful, Trisha. And speaking of your personal life, I just have to say, you and Garth always seem so in love. What's your secret to keeping that spark alive after all these years?" For a split second, the room went still. Trisha's jaw tightened ever so slightly before she answered in a firm, measured tone. "Well, Kelly, the secret is respecting boundaries, knowing that not everything belongs to the public." Kelly immediately sensed the shift. The relaxed, cheerful energy they'd had moments earlier was gone. She glanced over at her producers off camera, who were watching closely, unsure of what was happening. "Of course," Kelly said quickly, trying to smooth things over. "Privacy is so important. But your fans do love those little glimpses into your life together. The photos you share, the way you both support one another. It's really inspiring." Trisha leaned forward slightly, her voice dropping lower, steadier. "You know what's not inspiring, Kelly? When talk show hosts take it upon themselves to spread rumors about people's marriages based on nothing but idle gossip and speculation. When they take a harmless picture and twist it into some dramatic story just for the sake of ratings." The entire studio fell silent. Kelly's face froze in surprise. "I'm sorry, Trisha. I'm not sure I know what you mean." "Oh, I think you do," Trisha said sharply, her Southern accent growing stronger. "Last month on this very show, you spent nearly 10 minutes talking about a photo of me and Garth. You asked why we were sitting across from each other instead of next to each other. You even hinted that maybe there was trouble in paradise. All that from one simple picture." Kelly's face turned red as the memory hit her. She had indeed done that segment. It was part of her show's fun celebrity photo commentary. She hadn't thought it would hurt anyone. "Trisha, that was never meant to be hurtful," Kelly said softly. "We were just having fun, not trying to make assumptions." Trisha's voice rose slightly, filled with emotion. "Intent doesn't erase the damage. Do you know what it's like to get a call from your mother in tears because she heard someone suggest your marriage is falling apart? Do you know what it's like to see your stepkids worried that their family might be breaking apart just because a talk show decided to turn a private dinner into entertainment?" The audience was completely still now, every person frozen in shock. Kelly's usual easy confidence was gone. "Trisha, I'm truly sorry," Kelly said carefully. "I never wanted to hurt you or your family. That was never my goal." But Trisha wasn't finished. The words were pouring out of her now, years of frustration boiling to the surface. "It's not just about that one time, Kelly. It's about this entire culture of treating people's lives like they're public property. You can't just say you care about people and then use their pain to entertain an audience." Kelly took a deep breath, her voice quieter now, more controlled. "You're right. You are absolutely right. Maybe this is something we can actually talk about. How media figures like us can do better. How can we balance curiosity and compassion? For a moment, it seemed Trisha might ease up, but then her expression hardened again, and she said coldly, "You really want to know how? Stop pretending you care about boundaries when your whole career thrives on crossing them." The air seemed to vanish from the room. Kelly's face went pale. The audience shifted nervously in their seats. "Trisha, that's not fair," Kelly said quietly. "I've always tried to be kind." Trisha gave a bitter laugh that echoed across the studio. "Kind? You think it's kind to put my picture up on a big screen during your Celebrity Couples in Trouble segment? You called out my marriage because Garth was touring without me. That was taken out of context." Kelly protested, her voice rising now. "We were discussing how hard it is for couples to maintain relationships while working in entertainment." "Everything becomes personal when it's your marriage being talked about," Trisha shot back. "You sat there with your panel analyzing my body language like it was some kind of puzzle. Meanwhile, I was at home watching my husband's face as he saw people question our love on national television." Kelly tried to respond, but Trisha was already on a roll. "And it's not just that. Let's talk about the segment you did about women and body image. You had your nutritionist on and used my red carpet photos as examples. You called it an educational conversation, but you never asked me if I wanted to be part of it." The audience was completely transfixed, silent except for the faint hum of the studio lights. "Trisha, I remember that episode," Kelly said softly. "But I was talking about my own experiences, not about you personally." "Maybe that's what you think," Trisha replied, her voice trembling now. But watching it didn't feel like that. It felt like I was being judged, analyzed, and laughed at for being human. The air in the studio was heavy. Producers were whispering frantically off camera, unsure of how to handle what was happening. "Trisha," Kelly began carefully, "why didn't you reach out to me privately if you felt this way? Why bring it up like this?" Trisha's laugh was short and bitter. "Oh, I did. I called your office after that marriage story aired. I sent a personal email after the weight comments. I even had my publicist contact your producers. Do you know what I was told? That you were too busy." Kelly's eyes widened. "I honestly never heard about that." "Maybe not," Trisha said quietly. "But someone on your team did. And that's exactly the problem. When you have a platform as big as yours, you can't just pass the blame. Your words matter." Her tone grew stronger as she continued. "You talk about people's lives like they're stories, but they're not. They're real. When you treat them like content, you're teaching others that it's okay to do the same thing." Kelly swallowed hard, her voice trembling slightly. "I want to make this right. Please tell me how." Trisha stood up slowly, her eyes glistening. "You want to make it right? Stop turning real pain into entertainment. Stop pretending that being in the spotlight means we stop being people." The studio was utterly silent. Kelly looked up, tears starting to form. "Please don't leave. We can work through this." Trisha shook her head, her hands shaking slightly as she removed her microphone. "I've spent over 2 decades in this business smiling, being polite, laughing at jokes that hurt. But I'm done pretending this is okay." She turned to the camera, speaking directly to viewers at home. "To everyone watching, remember that the people you see on TV are real. We're not characters in a show. We have families, emotions, and hearts that can break too. All we want is respect." "Trisha, please," Kelly said, her voice breaking. "Let's make this a moment of change." Trisha paused at the edge of the stage, turning back one last time. Her tone softened, but the power in her words was unmistakable. "Kelly, this isn't about attacking you. It's about finally speaking up. For too long, I stayed silent because I thought fame meant accepting this kind of treatment. But staying silent just lets it continue." Kelly wiped her tears. "I never wanted to cause harm," she whispered. "I believe that," Trisha said gently. "But when you talk about someone's life, you don't just share stories, you create narratives. You shape how people see us. And that's not a small thing." The room was so still you could hear people breathing. Kelly whispered, "How do we fix it?" Trisha's voice softened. "You start by remembering that every word carries weight. Every joke, every assumption, it matters. Because behind every rumor or story, there's a real person living through it." Kelly nodded, tears streaming down her face. "I want to do better. I will do better." I promise. Trisha gave a small, sad smile. Then that's where it begins. Real change starts when you care enough to mean it. She turned and walked off stage as Kelly stood frozen in place, absorbing everything that had just happened. The audience remained silent, knowing they had witnessed a moment that would be remembered for years to come. That day wasn't just about two celebrities having a disagreement. It became a wake-up call for an entire industry. The honesty, the pain, and the courage it took for Trisha to speak her truth turned a regular talk show into something far more powerful. So what do you think? Was Trisha right to call out Kelly so openly, or should she have done it behind closed doors? Share your thoughts in the comments and make sure to subscribe for more stories that pull back the curtain on what really happens in Hollywood. This conversation about respect, boundaries, and responsibility is only just beginning.